afternoon, Feaster families. We are so excited to be hosting you all for our digital citizenship, appropriate use of technology in school programs. I am Heather Gallion, the innovation coordinator, and I am here with
Ambar Avalos, the technology teacher.
Miss Avalos joined us just about a year and a half ago, right?
Yes.
She has been truly essential. She is one of the Mind Labs teachers. So she works with our TK all the way up to 8th grade students. And she even runs the Girls Who Code program as an after school club. And I heard that it's going to be a spring intercession program.
Yes, it is.
Yes. And tell us more. How do they join the spring intercession?
So there's a link, a QR code for the spring break camp, and they just have to go in and sign up, and then that's it.
She has all the access.
Yes.
I don't have the link yet, but as soon as I do, you will too.
I'll get that to you.
Yes. Mr. Mislan, our ELP coordinator, is working on getting all of that organized for you all. So without further interruption or off-task conversation, I apologize for that, families. We are going to go into our digital citizenship presentation.
So technology is not going away. You have more power in your fingertips than generations before you. What will you do with it? So technology is really important in our everyday lives. So it's important to be up to date with all the security and issues that can come up with being online.
And I love this quote too, because beyond the security and things like you're addressing, because that's super important, it's also about getting your students to not just be consumers of content, but also helping them become creators of content. So yes, it's great to learn all of these things, but one of the great things that you do with your Mind Labs teams is you actually have them coding different programs. Or for example, I walked into Mr. San Diego's after school club and he was using AI with some of our multilingual learners to teach them new vocabulary words. And as I sat in, I didn't know how to say blonde in Spanish. And one of the kids was like, oh, Rubio, blonde. And I was like, oh, okay, because you are creating this AI generated character through the vocabulary terms that you are putting in, you are seeing in real time what's going on with this character and how their hair color or how their appearance is changing. So even myself, as someone who's trying to learn Spanish, was able to learn words along with the other classes. So this is one of my favorite quotes, I think.
Yeah, I know. I like it too.
Yeah, it's a good one.
So today's goals are to get students to follow the Falcon Code when they are using technology so that they're safe, responsible, and respectful. And also to give you, parents and guardians, strategies and resources to support your students when they're using technology at home. And parents and guardians will be able to understand how to hold students accountable for using technology safely, responsibly, and respectfully. And also, we're going to go over programs like Class Dojo and Jupiter Ed, so you are aware how to use them.
Yes. And just so that you are all aware, I'm sure that you hear it all the time. Safe, responsible, and respectful is our Falcon Code. Yes. So that is the words that we live by, I think.
Yep. All the students know it.
Yes, exactly. So here at Feaster Charter School, the next few slides are going to go over exactly what we are doing here at Feaster, what our school vision is, and they'll help you kind of better understand what initiated Ms. Avalos and myself to actually do this presentation with you. So here at Feaster, we exist to foster the academic, social, emotional, and physical achievement of all students in school and in life. This kiddo right here, her name is Esmeralda. She was one of my Falcon Report students. And she was someone who had to be academically, socially, emotionally, and physically excellent because she had to go around and not just interview other students, but she was actually creating the interview questions for herself. And so that she could create a more effective Falcon Report episode, which is our weekly YouTube video. You'll see in the background, she's also using Canva to design all of the animations, like the thumbnail, any of the transition slides, things like that, that actually go into our episodes. So we're really looking for ways to not just teach the students academics, which of course are crucial and essential in our everyday lives, especially as educators, but to also connect them to things that matter to our students. So we do that a lot through our after school clubs and during our electives, which are the last 30 minutes of the day for elementary school students or the last 45 minutes of the school day for our middle school students. And then this middle picture here you are going to see two of our students who are actually part of our homework club. So they are there working on technology, but they are still progressing their learning. And then the final picture, you will see these students. It's not letting me go. There they are. These students were part of a scavenger hunt. So they actually had to go around campus and find different things and then take a selfie of themselves once they found that thing. So it was a great way to kind of introduce them to some of the different classrooms that we have around campus and to learn the areas that we have, like our counseling center, where they can go if they're struggling socially or emotionally. So communications and programs. We use three main things here at Feaster Charter School. The first thing that we use for communication is Class Dojo. That is used in TK through 8th grade classes. So anyone who is part of this school is more than welcome to get onto Class Dojo. We also use Jupiter Ed, which we start using in 6th grade because it's a little bit more of an advanced program. And it's a way for parents to log on and see grades in real time. And then we're also going to discuss a little bit about the Chula Vista Elementary School District apps that we use.
Yeah, so Class Dojo, like Ms. Gallion said, all the grades have it. And it is a school-wide communication resource that a lot of teachers use to communicate with parents. So once you set up your account, you do that by signing up at the Class Dojo. And then you're using the code that your teacher should have. So if you need that code, just let your teacher know and they'll get one for you. You enter the code and then you click verify the code to connect and you'll be able to join the Class Dojo and you'll be updated with the school-wide communications. You can message the teacher also. And then sometimes you can also see the child's portfolio of things that they have done in their class. And you can also see the behavior of the day or week because the teachers give them points, right? Based off of if they're on task, if they're following directions. And also it's there's a newsfeed type of social media on there where you can see everything that's going on in the school. For example, in the first picture, we have the speech winner, right?
Yes.
And you can also see what's coming up. It's very helpful. I actually follow it too, and it's very helpful to see what's coming up the next week. It's kind of like Instagram, but on Class Dojo, so it helps. And then you can also look at the whole month so that you can see what's coming up ahead.
And definitely be sure to check out Class Dojo because we just added the Read Across America Spirit Days, which is going to be a very exciting week that kicks off on Monday. So Jupiter Ed, now I see Victor and Miss Escobar, you are both in here. Victor, I'm not sure what your last name is, but I don't think that either of you have middle school students. So I'm just kind of very briefly going to go over this piece. Just so that you know, at the end of this presentation, you will see a link to the slides. So if we go over anything too fast or you're like, wait, I wanted more information on that, you'll have access to these slides. And please, if y'all have any questions, you're more than welcome to add them in the chat. Ms. Oblis and I are right here, right with you, so that we can get those answered right away. So as we shared a little bit earlier, Jupiter Ed is a resource for you all to use as parents to immediately communicate with the teachers. So you have a parent account and your student has a student account. Your teacher will give you a piece of paper that looks kind of like this one that's right above my face here. And you will be able to log in on your account and you can see in real time which assignments your student is missing. Your student can also go on and see which assignments they are missing. So if you have a 6th or 8th grader, please do make sure that you connect with your child's teacher if you are not already using Jupiter Ed, because a lot of times our students will be like, oh yeah, I have a 4.0 GPA. But come to find out, they were maybe missing 1 or 2 assignments that they didn't even realize they needed to turn in still, or some kind of a glitch happened when they were trying to submit their work and the teacher didn't get it. So please do make sure that you are utilizing that. And even if you have a question, like if you are thinking, oh, hey, what's the Spirit Day on Monday? I don't see it on Class Dojo, or I can't find it, or it's just faster to email my teacher, go for it. Use Class Dojo to really get that kind of real-time communication going with your child's teacher. So this one would just be a video. It's just a a video from the website of Jupiter Ed. It's not very interesting. So we're going to skip over that one, especially since I don't think anyone who's on this Zoom right now has a middle schooler. But if you are curious about it, you can listen to Mr. Jupiter Ed tell you all about how to log in.
So we have some CVESD apps that you can use at home. There's iReady, Imagine, MathFacts, Achieve 3000, Smarty Ants, and Imagine Learning, which all of the students have an account and they've been using at school, but they are more than welcome to use it at home too. All you have to do is go to the CVESD website and then click on the student apps, or you have the QR codes here that you can also scan and access to be able to use those applications at home as well.
And if you don't have a device at home, we have some devices that are no longer being used in classrooms that we can lend out to you all for the remainder of the school year. So just stop on by the front office. They have the permission slips. You do have to sign a permission slip just because we want to make sure as a school that you know that your child is going to have a device that connects to the internet. So the front office will have those permission slips if you are interested in borrowing an iPad for the rest of the school year, which would be until about May of 2024. So when you are logging in online, a lot of families get confused, especially when students move from first grade to second grade, because your login actually changes. So our TK through first grade login, you would be able to get the student ID number from your child's teacher, and then they all follow the same pattern for the password. If you have a student who is in TK, kinder, or first, it would be their lowercase first initial, lowercase last initial, their student ID number, and then the equal sign. I think that the district just wanted kids to know what the equal sign was.
Oh, yeah.
So they threw it in there. I feel like that was a very strategic move to get kiddos interested in math.
Equals.
Yes. And then if you have a kiddo who is in second grade, again, you will need to get their student ID number from your child's teacher, but their password changes. So now their password is their capital first initial, lowercase last initial, and then their full date of birth. So 2-digit month, 2-digit day, and then the full year is 4 digits. We know that that's a lot. So we have created a tech support line. If you have your phone with you, take a moment and just add this number in there as Feaster Tech Support, because I will tell you on this call, because you are considered our VIPs right now, this Google Voice line is actually connected directly to my cell phone. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. So this Google Voice line, if you text it, it will come to me. If you call it, it will come to me. If you have a question about something that's after school hours, feel free just to, send us a text or send us a call, and we may not always pick up the call, but if you send us a text, we will get back to you. So do take a moment and make sure that that number right there, the 619-678-1701, is saved for you all, because we know that a lot of times if our front office is closed, you might have an urgent question and you need some assistance right away. Just don't call me about attendance, please. I can't excuse your child. We do get a lot of those calls.
Oh,
like,
really?
My kid's absent. I'm like, thank you. We will let Miss Melissa know. But I do not have the power to excuse your child for an absence. Sorry.
Tech related.
Exactly. Yes. Tech related, please. So next up is going to be our digital risk assessment. This is where we talk about just ways to hold your child at home accountable for utilizing their device, again, with that Falcon code, safely, responsibly, and respectfully.
Yes. So we have an activity that you will be assessing which place the activity should go under. So we have high risk, medium risk, or low risk. And we want you to kind of take a moment to figure out where you think those would go in. So posting your address publicly, where do you think that would fall under? High risk, medium risk, or low risk? Think about it. Sharing a picture of a friend without their permission. Oh, I skipped one. Posting a video of you expressing gratitude. Keeping your passwords to yourself and your parents and guardians by not sharing them with friends. And then posting a picture of a friend making a funny face. So take a moment to think where those would go under, to see how you are with assessing responsible behaviors.
And while you all think, we are going to leave some of these packets at the front office for you. It will have a copy of our PowerPoint presentation. It will have a copy of the digital citizenship. I'm like, where's my camera? The digital citizenship game that Miss Avalos is describing. And there's another game that we will show you very briefly up next in the presentation.
Yes. So how did you do? Hopefully you got the posting your address publicly correctly, and that is a high risk. We do not want to be doing that. But these are really important to share with your child because they may or may not know that some of these are expected and not expected. For example, even sharing a picture of a friend without their permission, that is also high risk because it's always important to have the permission of the person before being able to post it online.
Absolutely. And with the address piece, please do know that that goes for your keys as well. If you have like keys that have the, what are those little things called? Like the divots?
Oh, yeah.
Like a regular, not like the new key fobs, but the actual ones that you put inside the door. Please make sure that you don't post pictures of those because they can be used inappropriately. So just always be very cautious, double check your pictures, make sure that there's nothing identifying in the background or, you know, there's nothing that someone might use with malintention.
Yes.
Sorry to be downers, but this is the reality of the conversation. We do need to just be very aware. So here we go. We're going to bring you all up. What can we do? So when you are working with your students at home, whatever device they are using, if it's an iPad, if it's an iPhone, even if it's an Android, there are ways to go on and actually see what your child is looking at. That's called your screen time. In some devices now, you do have to turn screen time on, but once you turn it on, you have the option of adding a passcode so that students can't change it. So I very often look at screen time if a student comes in and maybe they've been misusing their device in the classroom. One of the first places that I go, so I go into the settings on the iPad, I look at the screen time and I'm like, ooh, I see that you spent 45 minutes on iReady, but you only have one question completed. Did you get stuck? Or, you know, how can I help you get through this question? So I can see on their screen time exactly how long they're spending on different apps. Or if you do not have a disable web history blocked, for example, on our school iPad, students cannot clear out their web history because we want to be able to see what they're looking at without them clearing it to try to hide anything off task that they may be looking at. I can tell when a student has spent a long time on Safari or on a web browser by the screen time. And then if I go into their web history or into their search history, it might be frozen. That's okay. We'll come back. There we go. Sorry, I thought that we were frozen for a moment, but we are back. Maybe I was getting edited by Google. They were like, no, we don't want her telling the secrets about screen time. No. So if you look on your screen time and you see that your child maybe spent a long time on a web browser, but when you go into the history of that web browser and there's nothing there, definitely have that conversation with them. Like, hey, these two aren't quite matching up. I see this on your screen time, but I don't see any browsing history on your Safari or on your Chrome. Also, do make sure that you look through their apps and, you know, maybe just ask them for their device and be like, hey, let's sit down and let's take a look at your device together. I want to see what you're doing, or I want to just see what apps you're using because I'm curious. Maybe it's an app that I would like too. So have those conversations with them at home. Now, one thing to be aware of is looking for duplicate apps. So for example, there are apps that actually look like calculators, but they're actually used to hide photo albums. So look for any apps that are multiple. So if a kid has a lot of calculators on there, what they would do is they would enter on the keypad for the calculator, they would enter like their passcode, and then it would open up photo albums or things that they may have saved that they were trying to not let everyone see. So do be aware of those. And also, like we talked about earlier, check that web history and just come at it with curiosity. Ask your kiddos, you know, hey, how are you using your device? I was asking this with one kid and I was like, well, how do you use your technology at home? And he goes, well, I'm learning to play piano and I found an app that has, do you know that thing that goes tick, tick? What is it? A
Yes.
metrometer?
Yes. Something
Yeah,
like
it's something like that. I don't know. It's the one that helps you with time.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I found an app for it. So now I'm using that to help me time my piano lessons.
Mhm.
I was like, very cool. Yes, please. Thank you. And more of that.
Yes.
Yeah,
More of that.
exactly. And then just as a good practice, I mean, I tell myself this all the time. I make sure that my device is put away before bed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you do that too?
Yeah, because I think it affects your sleep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like the blue light.
Yes,
Although I
the
do
blue
sleep
light,
with the
yes.
TV on. So
Yeah.
exactly. Probably both are bad. But do make sure that your devices are put away before bed. This video is going to go through, it's me talking, so we'll probably skip it, but it does show you everything that we just showed you on the previous slide. It goes over how to check your screen time, how to check browsing history, how to do all of those things. So again, this will be linked in the slides on the next one. So whenever you have time, we won't make you all do it right now, but we do suggest that you take a few moments and you try out those things just on your own device before you have this conversation with your kiddos. Take a look to see how you would access your screen time. Look at the apps. Can you clear out some that you maybe don't use anymore? Take a moment, look through your own web history, just so that when you're looking at your kiddo's device, you're able to do these very quickly. And then I do want to bring up some websites to be aware of. Yes, I know. This is a constantly changing, as it says with the asterisks, a constantly changing battle, because there are always going to be websites that pop up that maybe aren't made with the best of intentions. One that we found most recently that has had some pretty negative things on it is Discord. So Discord is kind of a chat website.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of dark content on there. A lot of gamers use the site for gaming conversations.
Yeah, I think so.
But there's some pretty tough stuff on there. So if your kiddo is looking at Discord, definitely have a quick conversation with them.
Yeah, it's not censored, so
Yeah.
that's why.
Yes, thank you. That's exactly the point that I was trying to make.
Yep.
It is not censored. Yes. Social media sites, this can be good or bad. It really just depends on how you use them. Again, it kind of goes back to the quote that Ms. Avalos shared earlier about being not just a consumer of content, but also getting out there, creating your work. One of the topics that you also discussed was sharing like a gratitude video. That's a great thing to post. Like, yes, absolutely. We need more gratitude in this world. And of course, anything with adult content, do make sure that you are aware of that. And those are also constantly changing. So if you don't know what a website is and you're looking at your kiddo's device, my suggestion is always to have a seat with them before you click on the site. Just be like, oh, hey, I don't know this site. Can you tell me a little bit about it? And your kiddos, if they get super uncomfortable or if they don't want to talk about it, that's when you need to dig a little bit deeper. Yeah.
Yes. So a really good resource is Common Sense Media Lessons. It's a website and they have a ton of things about social media and online safety. It helps parents become more knowledgeable about what's going on. Like Ms. Gallion said, things are constantly changing. So it's hard to be able to be up to date with everything, but this website does a really good job. And it has a ton of views and you can just read article that's going on right now. And they kind of do the work for you and help you. So I would definitely recommend it. And also for the cell phones and devices and then other topics too. That's all on there.
So here we go. Some ideas, resources, and strategies for you all to use at home. So focus on what to do with technology. I think one of the biggest themes of this presentation is be those creators and consumers of digital media. So asking your children like, hey, what story do you want your digital footprint to tell about you? I know I sat down with one, he's an author and a speaker. And he was telling me that he uses his Instagram account and he thinks of it almost as like a diary to his children so that they can read through and see, right? Which I thought was really sweet. I was like, oh, that's very cool. So really asking your children, do they want this to be something when I say this, I mean in their social media or whatever online presence they have, do they want to be able to use this when they're applying for colleges or if they are looking for volunteer opportunities that they may actually have to apply for or go through an interview process? Would this be something that they were comfortable sharing with someone who is going to potentially give them a great opportunity. And then, of course, we always
Look
need
at
to
that.
consider, yeah, sorry, we're getting a knock on the door. We always need to consider if this post will age well. So what will this look like in 10 years? If I'm posting myself doing like a TikTok dance or something, is it something that I would be happy with 10 years down the road? And then, of course, the final one, what do you want blank to see on your social media? I always use the grandma rule for this one. Do I want my grandma seeing this on social media? Do I want my mom, my teacher, my best friend seeing this on social media? However high up you want to go, definitely keep that question in your mind, because whenever we do post something, even if it's on Snapchat with an expiration, there's always screenshots, there's always screen recordings, things like that. So making sure that we are able to show whatever we are posting to our grandma or aunt or anyone.
Yes. So this next activity, it's going to be included in that packet. So if you want to stop by the front office, it's just an activity you can do with your with your kids. It's how to practice digital citizenship, where you roll a dice and then you can sorry, talk about some things with your students about what their favorite activities are, or what are some ways they can stay safe on the internet. So it's a fun little activity that you can do with them so that it's a little bit more engaging for them.
And your dice will be included.
Yes, that's included. Dices are included.
Exactly. So just a reminder, tell your story. Let your social media or whatever online content you have tell your story. What story are you most proud of? And I do want to point out this kiddo right here. He was super proud of his work. He was very excited about the work that he was doing. The kiddos in the middle right here, they're actually editing one of our Falcon Report videos. So they're reviewing the things that are going to be posted online and publicly on our YouTube channel. And they're saying, yes, this is something that I am proud of. This is what I want my name attached to, because your name does have power. So make sure that you consider what story you want to tell. Okay. Questions? Go ahead and enter any questions in the chat. I'm going to make sure that you all can unmute yourselves as well. Yep, y'all can unmute yourselves too. If you have any questions, please let us know. These shortened QR or these shortened links and the QR code will take you to the slides for the presentation. And again, you'll have a copy. It'll be in a bag that looks like this. And we'll leave those at the front office for you both. So thank you so much. And we'll hang out here for just a couple more seconds to see if y'all have any questions. Otherwise, we really appreciate you being here.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, well then that concludes our meeting, everyone. Oh, yay. Wait, we did get a chat. Look at the,
Oh.
Yes. Thank you. I was so excited when I saw your name pop up. So thank you for being here. Great. So I'm sure that we will see you all on campus. Oh, quick plug. We do have our Black History Month gallery in the cafeteria. And tomorrow, as the closing day, tomorrow's March 1st, we are going to be passing out little scavenger hunts and mix and matches for families to do during breakfast. So, oh, Oscar's there. Hi. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Oscar. And thank you, Jessica, for being here. You all are such an amazing team. So thank you, everybody. Okay. Well, we will see y'all on campus.
Yes.
Great.
See you soon.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.